I believe we're live and now we have sound. Oh man. Okay, I'm just going to check in the chat and make sure that that is true. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I know it's been a little bit up in the air this week with doing it at 7:30 and then doing it at 10 and then need 5 minutes. So thank you for being so patient. Breakfast, most important meal of the day. All right. Oh, Tiffy, come here. You guys see Tiffy? Come on. Oh, the people want to see you, Tiffy. Come here. No. All right. Well, she'll come. Eventually. She always does. Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay Thomas. Hey, Maya. Eloise W. Elmir G. Thank you for confirming the audio and for being here. Yes, Sanja S. Tiffy sighting. What's up, Neris? Tiffy. Oof. All right. Julia Shafini is going to be joining us. It sounds like the J train is not cooperating this morning. So once she gets on it, it should be about 20 minutes. That is fine by me. That is fine by me, Julia! Exclamation point. We just went live. See you when you get here. Smiley face. Gotta have the smiley face. Siri listens to me too. Most of the time. All right. Whoa, the chat's really delayed. Interesting. That's right, Eloise W. Tiffy does not conform to self-care Sunday rules. She doesn't really conform to any rules. Love Kirby Forever asks, "Hey Zach, how's life treating you?" And that's good. Why, if you guys got questions, throw them in the chat. I'm feeling like answering some questions. This week has been a wild one. I'll give you a bit of an update in a moment, but yeah, this is the first week where I haven't like crammed in preparation. It was probably going to be a shorter stream because I was planning on going to an event that started now, but I wasn't feeling so great. So yeah, to answer your question, I have been dealing with some wellness stuff. This ear has been plugged up since April 9th. I have tiny little ear canals that get kind of gross, like wax-wise. And yeah, this one got plugged up and then infected. And then I took the antibiotics for it and it didn't help. And I've kind of been living with it. And then like yesterday, it started to really bother me. Like the pressure started building. I can kind of hear some like something in there. It's kind of disturbing. Yeah, I went to an emergency clinic to get it checked out. I have an ear, nose, and throat doctor's appointment next Thursday. If you're not familiar with the American health care system, it sucks. So it's like takes forever to get an appointment, and then it's very expensive. I have another week until next Friday, until the end of the month, with maybe 2 weeks then, with the health insurance that I've had for the last year through work, which is like awesome but very expensive. So I'm going to try to get in all my doctor's appointments with that. So yeah, that is sort of how I'm doing. Thank you. I do feel better already just getting a good night's sleep. But yeah, I have like this is gross, but I'll share it with you guys. I have like eczema in my ear canals, so they get itchy. And so it's like not just that they get waxy. So like, yeah, I'm excited to talk to a professional who's going to be able to tell me how to deal with this. But other than that, I've been great. It's like super well, so okay, so one more complaint rant. You'll notice that this screen isn't on. And that's because the computer that usually plugs into it is like, needs love. I have a Mac Pro that I edit on, which is like that trash can looking Mac. And it's been about 3 years since I bought it. And it just started randomly shutting down and like restarting last week. And which is like fine, but when you're doing a daily podcast, which I've been doing with Focused.af, it's super annoying. So I brought it into the shop, brought it into the Apple store. They're going to take it for a couple days and run some deep tests on it to see if there's like a fundamental hardware issue or if it's just like a software thing, if we wipe it, if it does better. The problem is that 3 years ago when I got the computer, it came dead on arrival. It was like not working with my editing software. And I am a terror for customer service. I'm very polite, I like to think, to a point. But yeah, I'm very persistent, and I will escalate things. And I escalated this issue of like, one, I need a new computer. Like, send me a new one, but I'm going to keep this one while I use it, and then I'll exchange it when you send me a new one that works. It's called an advanced replacement, which I didn't know at the time, but that's like the technical term in customer service land. And yeah, long story short, I got escalated and like everybody's like, no, we never do that, until I got like the black ops of Apple Care support. And they were like, yeah, it's coming. Never speak of this again. And they also comped me a couple things, but in particular, Apple Care. They said, we give you free 3-year Apple Care support for the inconvenience of this. Except it looks like they applied it to the machine that got returned and not the one that I have. And so they have no record of anybody ever saying this, and they have no Apple Care on the machine. So it's out of service by like 2 years. So if the processor needs to get replaced, that'll be really expensive. So anyway, I'm gonna get it fucking resolved. I've emailed the Black Ops support whose emails I still have. I hope they still work at Apple. But yeah, we'll figure it out. This is on Friday, so I don't expect to hear back until like Wednesday next week. But hopefully this will all get resolved. In the meantime, I am streaming off of my laptop from college, my post-college laptop, this like MacBook Pro, that gets the job done. You know, may not be the super hyper-powered nuclear reactor, but it's something. Something's better than nothing. All right. But other than that, I'm great. It's been so fun to put out a podcast a day and see the incredible reaction to it. If you're a listener that's reached out to me on social media, thank you. If you're enjoying it, thank you for listening. Especially to those people who've left reviews. It's really moving to see how this thing has impacted your lives and made its way into your daily days. That's been really, really lovely. And it's also been really fun to have more time now that I'm more or less done with the part-time job at the startup. There's like a couple things I'm wrapping up, but I'm done. In that, like, I'm no longer an employee. I'm just like, I'm friends with the founders, co-founder, CEO guy, Chris, and there are a couple things that we need to wrap up, so I'm just doing that. Yeah. So I'm going to take a look at the chat, see if there's any other questions. Ooh, and I have the chat in the stream again, but I think it could be bigger, and somebody wanted it to be bigger, so let's see if that helps. Is that better? Nima M, just want to say I'm really enjoying Focused.af so far. I hope the upload schedule isn't too extreme. I really appreciate that, Nima M. And it was when I had a job to go to at a certain time for a certain amount of time. Now that I'm freelance and like it's sort of more on my schedule, it's a lot more doable. Acosieto, you're here. Hi, thanks for being here. Eiffel sells his soul to Goddard Futuristics for a goddamn Mac Pro. Sort of, except he gets like half of someone else's soul back in the process of calling customer care. May not be his soul. Ryan Mulgrew, thank you for saying that Focused.af is great.af. That's awesome. What's next now that you're not an employee? Any more projects to start up? Emily Dale Reeder. Yes, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so bad at this because I'm going to just, when I talk about a Focused as F episode, it'll be about the day it was on, not the day it was released. So like the episode that I released, the episode that I recorded on Friday, at the end of it, I'm like in a fancy law firm. So that is a freelance gig that I signed on the last day of my time at the startup, which is a contract for the whole year, doing live streams for a really cool group. I'll show you the website, but basically they're a company that works with, and a partnership that works with female founders and entrepreneurs of color. They're working for diversity in the domain of entrepreneurship, and in specifically, I think there's a focus in tech. And so they're having a series of live streams or live events for their membership, and they wanted somebody to come in and do the live stream for the people who can't make it physically to their live events in New York. And obviously, with this and with all the Wolf 359 Patreon streams and the other like AMAs and things that I did at the startup, I've gotten decent at doing live streaming. And live streaming is a really awesome field inside of video, like inside of the freelance video world, because, I mean, when you think about it, like, if somebody wants you to do a promo video, it's tough these days, like, in the sense that they can get their cousins, nephews, uncles, daughters, dogs, owners, college roommate to make them a Kickstarter video or like that style for free or for cheap. But and so it's like you're competing, unless you're like really high up or have like clients that really have been recommended to you. It's like, you know, budgets are kind of crappy in the low to middle end of like promo videos. But live streaming doesn't really have a low end or middle end. Like there are huge companies that charge like hundreds of thousands of dollars for events. And so like, it's a lot less competitive for like good paying jobs, and I completely forgot what I was going to say after that. So there's not that much competition, and there's no editing. So like with the problem with promo video jobs, or not the problem, but the thing to keep in mind about it is the hourly, the project rate gets broken down. When you break it down into hours, like depending on how much editing you need to do, like if something ends up creeping in freelance world, there's something called scope creep. It can get out of hand really fast unless you have a good contract and are good at just like setting boundaries and being clear in your communication to set expectations. You can end up making less than minimum wage if you're not careful. And so, yeah. So it's really nice to show up, work really hard for like 4 to 8 hours, and then be done. And especially when I'm mostly trying to do freelance work to work with companies I love, and then also to buy back the rest of my time so that I can do other things. It's really cool to be getting into this live streaming game. So if you have an event that needs to be live streamed, beastly.live. That's beastly like beast ly .live. Sarah Shackett and I are setting up shop. Lindsay Thomas, Zach, how do we support you in these new projects you're working on? Well, you are by being here, by commenting, by engaging with me. It's incredible. And yeah, like sharing it. Like, I think right now the biggest thing that you could support me with is in growing the community and like just sharing these spaces, whether it's the podcast or this, even Wolf 359, like whatever it is that you like that I'm up to, if you know other people that might like it and want to share it with them, that's awesome. You know, I think long term, I'm going to have a Patreon at some point for all these things that I'm doing. And I'm deciding whether I want to do it on a project basis or have one monthly thing that's just like Zach will do stuff, support Zach, or if it's like I'm doing a season of Boss Gal this year and like support that, and I'm doing the live stream, support that. I think it's probably going to make more sense to do like one monthly thing for just all of it, because I think it's too confusing. There's too many different things. That being said, I don't want to do a Patreon until Wolf 359 is complete and that Patreon is offline, because I don't know. It feels like double dipping, and yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't need the money right now, like long term, to support myself and like live the life with integrity, with like health insurance and all those things. It's going to become important. Like retirement is an issue, and I'd love to be a content creator. I'd love to be someone who puts out work, and that's my like livelihood. So yeah, but we'll talk about that stuff when the time comes. In the meantime, just you being here is huge and super supportive and a lot of fun. So yeah, does that answer your question? I hope that answers your question. Sanja S. Freelance would be the ideal situation for me due to my chronic disease, but I'm also super terrified of it, and healthcare is a problem. Yeah, the thing, Sanja S., about freelance is if you don't show up to your job, you don't get paid. So and there's no guarantee of another paycheck unless you source it. So there is, I think, a degree of uncertainty and instability. That being said, I think there is a certain amount of illusion to the stability and certainty of a full-time job. In the United States in particular, most of them are at-will employments. You can get fired for any reason at any time. And of course you can go to war in a lawsuit if you think you've been wrongfully terminated. And there's usually, we live in a very litigious world. So there's usually some kind of legal action you can take, but all that costs money and takes time and isn't really the work that I don't know. I want to work and create new things, not create paperwork in a court of law. Sorry, I have some gunk in my eye. It's like sleep sand. The technical term, sleep sand. Yeah, so it is a risk, but I think if you can look at, there's like a sort of Venn diagram. Why not show when you can show? 1 second. Yeah, so there's a Venn diagram. Please let me know if you can't hear me or if you can't see anything, but I think that this should be good. Of like, there's like what people will pay you for. Ooh, we'll move that over. And yeah, so there's that. What people will pay you for, what you love to do, and what you're good at. And so like this is the sweet spot for freelancers. Yeah. So that is what you want to look out for. And then the thing that my dad, who's a business consultant, has taught me over the years is the lifeblood of an entrepreneur and a freelancer, somebody who, a service provider, is having a pipeline where you have a lot of people in the top of your funnel, and this can be this can be like from networking events. This can be from having a landing page that you run ads with, which is like a website with like Google ads. So people are, you know, getting traffic, discovering your thing. And then like as you go down the funnel, this is where people sign and become your clients. And so yeah, so it's like you want to constantly be filling your pipeline, your funnel with prospects, and yeah, like one way to do that is when you have clients, you can like request and incentivize that they refer people to you. So you can either give them commission or a discount on the next job for them. There's lots of different things you can offer your existing clients and people in your network to refer you. And a lot of the times just because they love you. And I found that that's the best way to source work, is just friends of friends, friends of friends of friends. And yeah, there's just that trust and that context. I think it's why the gig economy is sort of tricky and why people are getting exploited in it, is because like you get more work in the gig economy without knowing anybody and get a start, but you get paid exponentially less from an industry average, whether it's Ubering, whether it's, I mean, I don't know that much about driving, so maybe it is commensurate, but I think like yellow cab drivers were making more before Uber. But like, at least for video stuff and for voiceover, I know Fiverr has totally bottomed out the market for voiceover. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. Alrighty, back to the main cam. All right, let's see. Okay, we answered that question. What will happen with Wolf 359's Patreon videos once the show is over? You know, that's a really good question. And right now, I don't know. My sense is we'll find something interesting to do with them. And like, yeah, I hesitate to say anything because I just like, I have ideas. But if you have ideas, I would be interested to hear them. So definitely like throw them in the comments either here. I mean, the problem with throwing them here is they won't persist. So if you could put them here so I can see them, but then also make sure that you put them in this video when it's not live, so I can see the comments there. That would be really useful. Also, you can always message us on Twitter, Patreon, any of those platforms. Tumblr we use. So yeah. Will they ever go public? Yeah, that's the question. After Wolf 359 is over, is there a chance the Wolf 359 team would do any other projects together? There is a big chance of that. Stay tuned. Sleep Sand. Yeah, Sarah, Gabrielle, and I, if I have my druthers, will be doing at least one more big thing together. Probably a lot more. I like to think about it like this. It's sort of like we're in a band. And I don't listen to enough music dedicatedly enough, or like I don't know music history. I listen to enough music, but I don't know, like, there are bands that like have been together for decades that also have solo projects and also have other bands. And so like I would think about us like that, where we are sort, you know, we were all solo musicians that came together to do something that's like seemed to have a really good response, and we love playing with each other. And so we have this like community of people who like our work, and we love each other, and so we're probably going to want to put out more albums. And in the meantime, like, we're also going to go off and do our, like, Gabrielle is going to maybe answer some questions for me about how to do Boss Gal better, and Sarah might produce the show with me. But that's not going to be necessarily a Kind of Evil Genius production. So, you know, that's a metaphor that I think would be useful, thinking about the three of us. Alrighty. Oh, Monochroma. To be honest, you give great advice for life, and I'm at a point in life finishing up university where all the advice is useful, so thank you. Monochroma, thank you for saying so. I feel blessed with my business coach of a dad and some other influences in my life that I feel like I just can pay forward the great advice that I've gotten and gotten to absorb over the years. So it's a pleasure to pay it forward. And if you have any specific questions about transitioning out of university, you let me know. I'd be happy to see if I got any more ideas. Thea Sinclair, oh, awesome to see you. I'm feeling a lot better from yesterday. Good night's sleep made a big difference. And I have a more thorough answer earlier in the stream. Let's see. Mitzrayim, I have a bad habit of not finishing writing projects. Any advice on how to muscle my way through until the end? So that's a great question. When I was in college, my thesis was writing a screenplay. Now, it's a crazy movie. I'll see if I can find the link. It's called Smokin' Ocean without the G. It's like an insane action movie. It's not well written. I'm like thoroughly embarrassed by both the male and female leads. They're not strong characters. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to write strong characters. I was trying to finish a screenplay. I was trying to muscle through till the end. Because I signed up for this thing because my whole play was I didn't want to spend a bunch of money making a thesis film because they cost a lot, and I didn't want to deal with that. Instead, I DP'd a friend's movie. So I was the film camera person on my friend's thesis with 16 millimeter film, which was super fun and scary and awesome. We actually like used real reels of film and like cut it with razor blades. And if you mess it up, it's very expensive. But yeah, so I DP'd her movie, and I wrote my own. And a full feature film, because I figured that would be more useful graduating from school and something that I'd be more likely to do. So halfway through that, I had a crisis of faith, and I was just like, this is dumb. It's not a good movie. I don't want to write this. I should just quit this and take a bunch of dance and like drawing classes and art classes and drumming and like just have this explosion of other things. And that would have been great. I don't doubt that would have been a really fun period of time where I got a lot out of it. But I talked to a friend's mother. A buddy of mine's mom was a life coach at the time and was the right person to talk to. I was expecting her to encourage me to be like, yeah, screw it, do you. But instead, she was like, why are you trying to quit? Like, what, like, and it had me look at like, what would I get out of sticking with this thing that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten? And so that was like a hard question to answer. But as I started to look at it, it was like, you know what? this is going to be an issue out of college. Like if I ever want to write a screenplay, like I'm going to get work that I don't want to do. So like there's something to learn in forcing my way through it. But then also like I started to look at the writing challenge of this script not as how do I tell the most honest story in my heart, but how do I use the tools available to keep somebody turning the page? How do I write this thing in a way that, how do I tell a story that forces people to ask a specific question at every moment? Like gets people to want to know information that I can then reveal or withhold. And sort of like it became a math problem. It became a magic trick of like sleight of hand where, it's like I'm doing something behind my back you can't see and it gets you to think certain things. So it like basically I would, rather than just try to force yourself through, take a step back for a moment and look at what would you be excited or at least vaguely interested in to complete this? Like, what could you get selfish about in finishing this that would have you finish it, if that makes sense? Let me know if it doesn't. I'll come back to this. Cool? Cool. All right, let's see. Got to go back up in the chat. Any cooking recipes that you'd recommend from Ako Sieto? All right. I've got... This is so fun. Man, I wish I could have two sets of eyes. This is so great. Cooking advice. So when I'm not cooking omelets, which is what I normally cook, I would say it's like 50% omelets and 50% stir fry. I'm like very much... Oh, awesome. Julia Schifini just got off the subway, so she's walking over now. Great. And then she can entertain you while I go upstairs and get a heater because, oh my God, it's so cold. My hands are like so cold. They're just like in my legs. So 1 second, let's see. Cooking, stir fry. Stir fry is great. It's easy. I just get like some bell peppers, some onions, some frozen broccoli I like because like produce goes bad if you don't make it. So frozen stuff is great. And yeah, if you have a wok is great. A wok is like hard to explain without being more culinary, but it's just like a cooking surface thingy. Surface thing. It's like a pot or pan, but it's like specifically for like sautéing, steaming vegetables and things like that. It's good for stir fry. So yeah, that's. I wish I had more to say, but I really like it. And get a little teriyaki sauce or peanut sauce if you're not allergic to peanuts. If you are, don't. Cool. Miranda Clay, I'm finishing up my freshman year of screenwriting. Actually, you and Gabrielle gave me some incredible advice this time last year in a Wolf 359 stream. Being selfish about your work is great advice. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Love Kirby forever. Describing a wok. It's like a frying pan that looks like a bowl. So much better than I did. Thea Sinclair, rounded bottom pan. Boom. That is so much better. Thea Sinclair, Julia from the Spirits podcast. Yes, that is who's coming. Tiffy. Tiffy. Tiffy's here. Whoa. She's not having it. She's really not having it. But, we'll put this here in case she decides to come. Can you see that in this shot? No, you can't. But when I open up the shot, you'll probably be able to see it. All right. I see that there's a conversation. Oh, hey, Meg Plant. So good to see you here. I want to answer that question very quickly by saying I'm great. there's a more detailed answer earlier in the stream. The chat is catching up to Tiffy, and it's amazing. I love it. Oh my God. Tiffy is good. She really should be taking her antibiotics, and she's not. But she's fine all the same. She seems to be okay. She really does need to get her her teeth out soon, though. That's coming up in May. May? In May, wow. That's really soon. Like 2-3 weeks. On that Sunday, she's probably just going to be like a drugged up ball. Wow, I have to scroll up so far to get past the Tiffy stuff. This is so great. It looks like there's a lot of questions and talk about grounding exercises. And things like how to deal with panic attacks. And I'm going to save that for talking with Julia in a moment, because I think there might be an interesting conversation there. In the meantime, are there any specific actions, events, interactions you prefer to write them do experience? This looks like a question from Ako Sieto to Emir G. So cool. I love the interactions that I see around here. Mitsuki is dead. Do you drum, Zach? I do not, and I would love to, because I have pretty awful rhythm. It's like okay, but it's like off in a hilarious way. And I think that my editing, my dancing, and my voiceover would all get stronger, and like all musical things would all get stronger if I had better rhythm. So I wish that I did edit drum. I wish that I did drum, but I don't. Let's see. Oh, do we have a spammer? Who's spamming in here? Who's a coon? What's a coon? Anyway, Dylan Robson, congratulations on being my first spammer. Interesting. I wonder if there's a way to block people. I've never had to deal with that. Looks like they left. Whoa, did I just break the chat? No! What did I do? No! Okay, there we go. Whew! Will we get an audio trailer or teaser for the new season of Wolf 359? Question from Mitzrayim. Ooh! Door! I'll be right back. Oh no, Tiffy. Hey, welcome.
Hello. I'm like on a delay, I guess.
Good.
Listening to it.
Oh, that's so funny.
There
Whoops.
we go.
Just watch Tiffy vommed right outside the room. Yeah. Hey, everybody. I know you can hear that. It's kind of gross. But apparently, and Lyra S., who watches this stream, yeah, please make yourself comfortable if you want some water or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab some water.
Lyra S. is a vet. I think it's Lyra. Somebody's a vet, and we've been chatting. And they let me know that there's a distinction in cat health between vomiting and the thing where they just like regurgitate their food. And Tiffy's teeth thing might be related to that. Let me get you a chair.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
I brought that book for you.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah. Everybody, this is Julia.
Hi. Hello, Internet.
Okay, 1 second. Let's,
No worries.
1, 2, That's working. Weird. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Let me see. Thank you guys for being so awesome and patient. All right, let's see here. All right, if I turn... All right.
Alright, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Cool. So if you sit there,
Yeah.
I'm going to disappear the chat.
Okay.
Or maybe, let's see, if I move this around, will that work?
This way.
So yeah, if you come, or, yeah, let's see.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's good.
Cool, yeah.
Awesome.
Dope.
We did it, guys. All right, 1 second, let's see. Get this thing. Oh, hey, Tiffy.
Oh, you decided to join us, huh?
Staging.
She's a model. She's got to be in shot.
I know, right? I'm like, we could always set this up as Tiffy cam.
That might be the ideal situation, honestly.
All right, 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, my the mic that I used to use needs 9-volt batteries, and I am out of 9-volt batteries.
That's not great.
Tiffy, you're so cute. Are you slightly allergic?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I have, if you need.
Actually, it wasn't too bad last time, so.
Oh, great. If you change your mind, I have drugs.
All right, thank you.
Okay. This is going to be the most ultimate microphone tripod.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, this is a spoon in a mostly
You want me to
finished.
hold the spoon while you do that?
Yeah.
There we go.
This is a spoon in a mostly finished thing of Cheerios.
Killing it, really.
Yeah,
Really killing
actually though. Ooh, and we can put the volume up too.
it. Woo.
Hello. Whoa, way too loud.
Way too
Hello. Hello. Justin Havey. What's up, Zach? I was one of the kids you seen last Sunday on the train. Oh my god, Justin Havey! That's so dope! That reminds me that I promised to play this thing.
Okay.
But first, Julia. Julia,
Hello.
Self-Care Sunday fam.
What's up, internet?
Oh man, that is so cool. Wow. Justin, welcome. Everybody welcome Justin. Justin and I met on the J train coming back home to Brooklyn. That is so cool. Justin, was it your birthday? It was somebody's birthday. But we'll get to that. I'm so glad that you came. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start out with
Questions.
who are you?
Oh, God.
What do you do?
That's an existential question.
And like, and I guess cats or dogs.
Oh, God. So dogs.
Okay.
First off, I'm allergic to cats.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Tiffy.
It's okay. She doesn't take it too personally.
My name is Julia Shafini. I am one of the co-hosts for Spirits podcast. I'm the one who knows about mythology, whereas my co-host doesn't know anything about mythology.
Which makes it a fun show to listen
does,
to.
yeah.
'Cause somebody wants to learn, and somebody has the answer.
And it's actually really funny because it's pretty much the opposite of what our usual relationship is. Amanda's usually the smart one, and I'm just like, that makes sense, I guess. You just said a thing, and that makes sense now. But yeah, what was the second question?
So cats, dogs.
Yeah.
Who are you? What do you do? I think that kind of covers
Yeah.
it.
I'm also a cheesemonger by day.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's
I was
a
like,
thing.
that's maybe true with Amanda, except about no cheese.
Yeah, no, I do know cheese. Cheese is kind of my specialty.
She does cheese
is my
so
thing.
good.
I do. I did 6 years of cheese.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like I just did my 1-year anniversary at my current job, so that
Damn.
makes 6 years.
Congratulations.
Woo, yeah, thank you.
Are you happy about it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We'll see. We'll see.
Right. Well, and Spirits Podcast is an incredibly fun time, and they are just killing it in the
Thank you.
world of myths and drinks.
I mean, it's a very niche podcast, and so We have a surprisingly big following. I'm still kind of surprised by that.
I was gonna say it's
people,
like
the past 2 months, I have met people who came up to me and asked me if I was part of the podcast. I'm like, you're not my mom. Why are you listening to my podcast? What is happening here?
That's so
yeah,
cool.
like we went to a Max Fun meetup at the Hinterlands, which is a great bar. And someone came up to me. She's like, "Oh, your name's Julia. Your voice sounds familiar. Do you do spirits?" I'm like,
that's so great. Like
yes.
you and Amanda both have great radio voices.
yeah.
Which
Oh,
is fun.
well, thank you. I'm very self-conscious about my voice, so it's really funny that you say that because I think I have a weird kind of. Someone told me I have a weed voice or a smoker voice or something.
Really?
Yeah. And then someone else in a iTunes review said I sound like Cher from Clueless. And
Oh
I
my
said
God.
that's a compliment because Cher is amazing.
That's true.
Okay.
There's one girl in my improv class recently who just did a killer Cher
Yeah.
impression. So funny.
Can't do impressions, but
Oh, man,
I guess
me
I
neither.
just sound like her already, so that's fine.
Right. Okay. So that is just like introductions.
Sure.
Now you know, and we'll put up the links and stuff to the show.
Yeah.
Just spiritspodcast.com.
Yeah. And Amanda just redesigned the website and looks great.
Really? What's
yeah,
that again?
it looks
I
really
haven't
pretty.
seen it. I
Yeah,
want to
go
see
for it,
that.
man.
That's the wrong thing, but this won't be. Okay, great.
She added stuff. I think you might have used the website.
Is it the Spirits
No,
Podcast?
just Spirits Podcast.
Spirits Podcast.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What is a cheesemonger? Asks Mitsuki is dead.
It is a person who sells cheese and knows a lot about cheese. Technically, I'm in marketing for cheese now, but I spent 5 years as a cheesemonger, specializing in American, like, artisanal cheeses.
So cool.
Yeah, love that.
Best job. Unless you're lactose intolerant, then maybe.
I
not.
was for a while and then kind of had to come back to it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but, there's a lot of good cheese options depends on how, lactose intolerant you are. But, that's a great panel that Amanda did at NerdCon.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, it was
I
like
want to
a-
watch this.
yeah.
I need this.
It was really, really cool. It was with our editor and Amanda and the girl who designed our logo, Allison, and she's great. Yeah, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of links and stuff.
Well, hell yeah. If you guys want to start a podcast, you know where to go.
Amanda's good at the technical stuff. Someone
Sure.
has to be.
Right. Okay, let's see. Back.
Woo.
I'm getting used to this new app.
Kind of creepy, kind of cool. Someone said the thing.
That's so great. I know, right?
Oh, God.
Oh, Nanny loves that show. Oh, man. All these people. Good
You guys
people.
rock. I don't even know who you are. Thank you so
Robin
much.
C. says, dream job, cheesemonger.
It's a good job.
Alexi Winter says, looks nice. Oh, this is great. So, I'm curious.
Okay.
What, and Justin, hang tight. We're going to get there. And yeah, let's do it. And,
All right.
So, because otherwise I'm going to forget.
Cool.
And I hate forgetting. So, this was, I was waiting in the subway, and I was hanging out with my buddy, and these people, these dudes, were on the platform, and they noticed I had a YouTube shirt, and they were like, they had a lot of questions, because they love YouTube,
Nice.
which is like,
Of course.
I understand.
We're also on YouTube right now, so why not?
And yeah, it was somebody's birthday.
There you go. Did it pause?
I think it paused. Thank you, Justin. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, your birthday today? My birthday, happy birthday then. I just had my birthday party tonight. I'm just coming from that.
Yeah, that was last Sunday, so I was coming from my birthday party. So yeah, now it's really dark. Whoa. Coming back.
Bring the light.
All right, we're back. Cool. So thank you, Justin, for coming and being a part of this stream. All right, I think you're in focus. If we're not in focus, let us know in the chat.
I think we look okay.
So I guess my question for you
Cool.
is, yeah, that was really cute. That was fun. So my question for you is about, Self-Care Sunday, self-care. What does self-care mean to you? Is it something that's important to you?
Yes. So I have kind of like a mental health trifecta where I have ADHD, anxiety, and like a little bit of depression, like kind of mix it in there, the usual kind of stuff. And I think really that kind of all goes back to, I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was in like 4th grade or something ridiculous like that. My parents never put me on meds, so I ended up seeing like a child therapist for a while, which actually did wonders for my health. It really made me focus. I wasn't reading for a while, like 1st, 2nd grade, which normally people would read by then.
I didn't read till 1st grade.
Yeah, and so they kind of helped me out with that, and I was able to focus a lot more because I think what I was doing, I was like mimicking and like figuring out what the other kids were saying and then doing that. But with the therapist's help, I fucking love reading now, and I started loving reading. They actually was a problem because they couldn't get me to focus in class because I would like have a book in my lap and like read that instead of paying attention to the lecture.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love the 180.
It was pretty solid. My parents were upset about both things, but either way.
Right.
But I think kind of, let me try and think how I want to do this. My sort of self-care changed drastically going from like teen years in high school to being like an adult now. Because I still don't consider myself an adult. I'm almost 25. It's just like that mental health space, that mental space. But I was very grungy is a good word for it in high school. I was very tomboy, kind of bro-y, like only hung out with dudes, didn't care about makeup and stuff like that sort of thing.
I had no idea.
And I started having like anxiety for the first time in high school as well. And it's kind of really funny because I started getting into comic books around the same time.
Yeah.
And my anxiety kind of manifests as like existential dread that just hits me at random moments, as well as like physical symptoms as well. But I remember I was reading X-Men. X-Men was like my go-to title.
I love it.
And I kind of changed the way I thought about like my dread, because you look at these characters in X-Men, a lot of the characters have sort of this, they're cursed, like they don't have superpowers, they have things that ruin their lives, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I started seeing my anxiety, but I also kind of saw it in this light where I have this difference about me, and that's okay. And like that kind of made it easier for me to deal with it. And then when I started doing therapy when I got to college, that I kind of explained that to my therapist. She's like, that's actually not the worst thing in the world you could have done for yourself. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got through anxiety in high school. I got to college. It was more my anxiety started going to more social anxiety. I didn't hang out with people a lot. I didn't go out too much. I had like 3 friends and that was it. And then I got to, after graduation, and I just kind of realized that, I don't know, my anxiety was based on social things, and my anxiety was based on how I perceived myself at the same time. And I started working at this like spa and wellness and like cosmetic company.
Really?
Which it was just, I needed a writing job, and I had been, it'd been like 6 months since I graduated. I just wanted to take any editorial job. And I got super into just I call it my war paint. So, I wear lipstick on a daily basis. I have like 40 different lipsticks. And I started getting back into comics at the same time.
Okay. Last time the thing went
Okay.
dead, and people were trying to. So I'm just like
Yeah.
checking.
So I started getting into comics at the same time, and I was super into Wonder Woman. I'm still really into Wonder Woman, and I just love this concept of a woman who could look beautiful and also kick a lot of ass.
Yeah.
And like is just empowering in its own sense, and that's kind of where I'm at now in my own anxiety. Like I feel more confident about myself. I felt more confident since I did podcasting. I felt more confident just physically, and it's a better place that I'm at now. Just
That's awesome.
The change of perspective can do a lot.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's like, and I'd love to get sort of into some nitty gritty practices.
Sure.
But before we get there, it sounds like there's something cool in just shifting your point of view. So it may be less of a question of like needing to like say 20 Hail Marys or like the meditative equivalent of that, and like sort of like eat 12 Tic Tac, like there's like that stuff, but maybe even before that, just sort of a shift in mindset,
Right.
From like this is a problem to this is just like part of me and I'm wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with just how I get up in the morning and how I want the day to go. And if I wake up in the morning and I just know I feel lousy, I know it's going to be a bad day, like mentally, I like go full out, like super cute outfit, full makeup, like just as long as I feel confident about myself, even if I know my day is going to be shitty because my mindset is not in the right place, that makes it just like a little bit better. It's like another step forward.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it works for me.
Cool. Yeah.
And that's what mental health is. It's whatever works for you.
Right. I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why I love talking to people about it, is because there's just so many things that I've never considered, and so many, also so many commonalities between things that look really different.
Right.
So I guess, like, do you attribute that, like, I had my version of that when I was 9. They diagnosed me with learning disabilities and attention deficit disorder in short order after that.
Yeah, found it. ADD club.
Well, and it's funny. It's like, right, like I think that the label is so disempowering to like attention deficit disorder.
Right.
Like that you should have a certain amount of attention, which is, I think, one of the reasons why Focused.af is my podcast. And like that you're disordered for not. I think like for a child is like kind of crappy language.
Right,
to
and
use.
also that your attention has to be channeled towards this specific thing, or else you're all over the place, and that's a bad thing, which I don't think necessarily it is.
Exactly. Like if you gave me like some tools and like an objective to go do in the woods, like I would have been super focused.
Yeah.
But when you asked me to like sit down and shut up and
do
read this
math
thing,
problems, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know
chafing.
if I want to do that, yeah.
Right. And so I guess like I was lucky that my folks had the resources and wherewithal to have me go to certain like places and see certain professionals who helped me understand that what has been sort of, I guess, pathologized as a learning disability is also could be seen as a learning style.
Right.
And they like help me look at my like different kinds of intelligences and see my strengths at a young age, so that I could see that it's just like my mind works different. And so I'm curious, like, do you attribute that shift in mindset to an outside thing? Is it an insight that just sparked in yourself? Like, I'm curious.
I think so. For me, I think it was like an internal thing, and it was very much the atmosphere I was in. So in high school, Amanda and I have probably told you this a million times before, but for your listeners, I was part of a theater program that was sort of a really intensive theater program. Like, we had 3 high schools. It was a magnet program, so you auditioned for it in 8th grade, and then you got called into it, and it was a very close-knit kind of situation, and you end up specializing, so everyone like gets a chance to do some stage stuff, but also everyone does crew work, and so everyone has to put in 40 hours for the month or something like that towards building the show, and you're either tech or props or lighting or and I think that specialized that specialization helped me kind of find more grounding for myself. So I ended up doing more physical, more creative stuff than on stage stuff, which is also why it's so funny that I got into podcasting, because I was never a confident performer.
Right.
I think I was a lead in one show out of the 16 that we did in high school. So
That's awesome.
but it's I found that I'm more grounded because of that situation. Yeah, she agrees with me.
You just want love. Ugh, such a bug.
She's a cutie.
She loves being part of stuff.
She's just very vocal. You're staring me down, though.
She's like, I smell your allergy, and I wish you could love me more. Oh,
Ooh, not
well,
that
be that
though.
way.
She's mad now.
Yeah, she just likes it there.
Nowhere else, just that place.
Yeah, she's got arthritis, so she's got weird hot spots that are like, don't touch me.
That makes sense.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Cool. All good.
Got distracted by the cat.
So before I dive back in,
Yeah.
With my own questions, let's see if the chat has any more questions.
I saw someone ask if I read Wicked and Divine. Yes, I do. It's wonderful. It's so good.
I'm
it's
behind.
so good. I think that was the first time I bonded with Sarah. Was she was wearing the
Which one?
the YOLO shirt.
Yeah, YOLO Infinity.
Yes. And that was at the Wolf 359 meetup where I first met you, which
hell
is
yeah.
super weird.
It's so funny. Wow, it feels like such a long time
It was
ago.
a year ago.
I still
almost.
have not edited that video.
I think I forgot that you were videoing.
Oh yeah. Well, I have 1 second. Let's see if I can pull something up while we wait for the chat to catch up.
Cool.
Interesting.
That is true. Spirits is not really a performance. It is a fun combo with friends, and that's the style that we definitely go for. It's supposed to be like you're overhearing a conversation Amanda and I would be having at a bar.
That's awesome.
Because that's literally conversations we would have at a bar before we start the podcast.
Julia, what are some of your favorite Wonder Woman comics?
Greg Rucka writes the most amazing Wonder Woman series right now. That is the Rebirth series, and he is great. And I met him in person, and we're friends on Twitter, and he's just fantastic. And he's really exploring, one, the sexuality of Wonder Woman, which is amazing, and two, the sort of more prominent Greek mythology, which I feel like has gone on the wayside with a lot of Wonder Woman storytellers. But if you haven't read the Wonder Woman origin story book about the writer of Wonder Woman, I highly recommend it. I can't remember the title. I think it's The Secret Life of Wonder Woman or something like that. But it is excellent, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is a comic book fan.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen Logan. I'm like reading them over your shoulder. I am really bad about seeing movies in the theater.
Okay, wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, is this the video from...
Yeah, I have
Oh,
videos.
no.
So we did... Wolf 359 did a meetup with Lauren Shippen in the Bright Sessions.
Which was also the first time I met Lauren, too.
And I have all this footage of us. Is
Oh,
that
there I
you?
am! Yep, in the corner. In the corner. I brought cheese for Lauren that day.
That's so cool. And then that's Lauren and Gabrielle.
Oh, that's so funny.
Of course, you can't hear it. I don't have it set up for sound right
That's
now,
okay.
but that's fine. And this is super fun. Did you enjoy your experience in theater? What was your favorite part?
Yes, I did. My theater program was extremely intense. Our director was very intense. But the whole thing was basically these people created a family for me, and it was excellent. Also, my favorite part was... I was telling Labresco this last night. I did a production of Macbeth my junior year, and that was the first show I prop mistressed. And I, one, got to create a latex mask of the dude who played Macbeth, which was really, really cool. And two, I got to scare freshmen because I had to make edible blood for that show, and I would just lick it off my fingers and scare the shit out of them. Oh, sorry, can I not curse here?
Oh, you can curse.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sorry. It's like instinct at this point.
Yeah, I used to be a little bit more careful with... I know that there are some younger viewers, like high school, but yeah, I just can't stop censoring myself.
I know, I'm really bad at it too. As the explicit tag on our iTunes podcast entails.
That's why I put one of those up there.
Solid choice.
Yeah. Okay, so Emir G, we had some really deep discussions and learned a lot about each other. Got emotional, but it was incredible. Wow. And I was gutted when I had to leave because school stuff.
Oh, someone asked what pantheon we're covering next. This week's episode is on the Egyptian afterlife. Spoiler alert, we usually don't tell people in advance what the episodes are on, but it's going to be fun.
You heard it here first.
It took us a year to get to Egypt. I'm kind of surprised that it took us this long, but
what do you
I'm
attribute
excited.
That to?
I think it's just one of those ones that everyone learns in like elementary school, and I kind of want to spread out besides those ones that everyone knows. So.
Right, so it was an intentional programming choice.
It was a we'll do it eventually
go
kind of thing.
deeper into the unusual.
Yeah.
Also, if you're chilly...
No, I'm not. I'm
okay.
actually... This is just nerves.
Okay.
Yeah, you see me shaking.
My fingers are a little cold.
No, my hands are always cold, so...
Do you have Raynaud's?
I have no idea.
Okay. I had a girlfriend in college who had Raynaud's disorder, which is just like your extremities get really cold. And I've never been diagnosed, but my fingers and toes are like always
Well,
cold.
for a lot of women, it has a lot to do with our circulatory system. So our heat is based like in our center because we're supposed to carry children, whereas dudes, it's all spread out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Bodies are weird.
Bodies are weird.
All right, so we had some talk earlier before you got here. Yeah, Mitzrayim knows. Zach curses all the time. It's cool.
Okay, good.
Like, damn it.
Just
Thought
making
I was
sure.
better at it. No. So there was some talk earlier. People were asking about like grounding exercises and sort of how to deal with anxiety.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if that's something that you have any tips or tricks or things that you've discovered that work for you.
I'll tell you what my therapist told me, which really helped, is like deep breaths, like just breathing exercises, but as you breathe in, you tighten your body physically, and then when you exhale, you loosen it slowly.
That's awesome.
And it super helps with my form of anxiety and just sort of like, you know, because a lot of tension kind of falls when you have anxiety and stuff like that, and especially with like chest pain and stuff like that, and that really, really helps me. And usually I just plug in music and just kind of like with the rhythm of it kind of breathe in and breathe out. Usually it is a Broadway playlist, but that's just how I roll.
Nice. What's your favorite? What's the first track?
It's on shuffle.
Okay.
But
nice.
I don't know. It's a bunch of shit.
Okay, great.
It's a bunch of
great. If that's on Spotify,
stuff.
if you give me a
Oh
link,
yeah, for sure.
I
will send it to you.
Yeah,
I'll
put the link in the. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Where did you? So you learned that from therapy? Okay. Is therapy something you've gone to your whole life? Is it something your parents introduced you to? How did you?
So I actually started going to therapy the year after I graduated. My boyfriend's dad passed away, like really suddenly. He had a heart attack, and so I was having a lot of stress dealing with that, and my anxiety like just went through the roof, and my depression came back, and it was a whole thing. And so my mom was like, you need to do something. You're just like angry at people, because that's how my depression kind of comes through. I get really angry at myself and at other people and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's why I started going, and it was a really big help. And then I took it for about 2 years, and then stopped because I moved, and also it was getting really expensive. But every once in a while I can kind of like just channel what she taught me, and it's really useful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things that's like, I don't know, I have feelings about like the healthcare system.
Sure,
and
everyone
the
does.
As I'm transitioning to non-employer insurance and that whole situation.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, no, I'm really glad to hear that was something that was available to you.
It was really helpful, and I'm glad I did it. And if you're someone who's considering doing it and can afford to do it, I recommend it, because I think it's something that everyone should do, honestly. Yeah. Even if you don't think you need it, chances are you might need like a little bit of help.
Right. Well, it's like I think it's interesting. Like somebody once told me that they're not interested. Like they don't think help is useful. Save extreme situations where somebody is literally drowning. And I'm like, on the other side of help is helplessness.
Right.
Like when you help people, like for instance, like, and this is problematic.af, and I want to check my privilege right now.
Go ahead.
Things like when you, it's like when you give a man a fish, they eat for a day, when you teach a man to fish, they eat for a lifetime. And so
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
you're also teaching the man to fish. That's
Right.
helping the person.
well, I would say like empowerment, just to get
Right.
rigorous in the language. Like it's not that it's not helpful, but focusing on like things that you can do that are empowering
Right.
to give people the power to sort of like
Yeah.
make a difference for themselves going forward. And that's the thing that I think people fundamentally misunderstand about therapy when they're against it
Yeah.
or like wigged out by it. This idea of becoming dependent on somebody else. And that's like totally not what it is. And I think therapy, when done right, is like gives access to a toolkit.
Yes.
Which I
Exactly.
love.
Which is what happened with me.
Right, and what helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like fun. Like just like to make distinctions. It's
Right.
like nitpicking
Yeah.
language, but yeah, cool. I guess like, what's something that surprised? Well, so okay, let's switch gears.
Okay.
So the thing that people always are like, what? Like when they're like, what's your channel about? I'm like, it's self-care and creativity. They're like, how are those two things related?
Oh, they're super related.
So I'm curious what the relationship is in your experience.
So for me, the way that my depression works a lot of the time is all I want to do is sit on the couch and watch Netflix. And which is basically what I did yesterday. And,
I know that one
and
well.
then I went to Labresco's show, so at least I went outside. I went outside for the day. Like, that's all that matters. I had social interactions. But I think when it comes down to it, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought here. I was thinking over here, on the way over here, I was listening to the live stream, and I heard someone asking you about writing, and like not being able to finish projects and stuff, and that's something I completely feel. But Neil Gaiman did this amazing talk where he was talking about how he meets deadlines, how he, can channel through depression and get stuff written. And he talked about you just need to write one word at a time. Even if all you do that one day is write one word, it's still forward process, and that's still what you need to do. So I think as long as I sit down and like get a few words out, that's like the important part of creativity. It starts the flow, and as long as you do that every single day, that's what's going to make things kind of come together.
Right, and that applies to more than just writing.
Oh yeah,
because-
it applies to anything. If you get up in the morning and you do something, that is a success, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, even if that thing seems
Minuscule.
infinitesimally small.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I think I've talked here before about this guy, BJ Fogg.
Okay.
Who's a behavior researcher at Stanford who has this program that I found out about called Tiny Habits.
Okay.
Where he's like, don't try to floss your whole mouth.
Fair
Like,
enough.
Floss one tooth and anchor it after something that you always are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I turn off my alarm in the morning because unless you're just going to sleep through your alarm, which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure
Some
it's
days
happened.
you need to do that.
But, like, just, like, flick off my alarm, floss a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it anchors it, and it makes it something so small that if you do that for 21 days, odds are you'll probably be flossing your whole mouth
Yes.
at that point.
I know that feeling.
And, like, just putting on your running shoes instead of going for a run.
Oh, that's something I'm trying to do now.
Oh, yeah. You
It's,
just, like,
it's
lace
hard,
them up.
man.
Yeah.
I can't. I think I've run. I was like, I'm gonna do more running, and then the past 2 weeks I have run once, and I'm not a very good runner.
Where do you run?
Around my apartment, there's like I'm on like an intersection like of 3 major streets, so I'll just like run down, and then this one cuts over to the one that I can just take back to my apartment door.
Nice.
So it's like it's a mile, but it's not.
Nice.
It's not nothing.
It's a place to start. Yeah.
Slowly but surely. I used to like be able to swim and stuff. Oh god, I'm so out of shape.
So never swam.
was
No,
a
but
lifeguard for
I'm
a
training
while.
for some races,
Yeah,
so
man.
if you want to run.
I'll see what I can do. You can be my running buddy, but I probably can't come to Brooklyn and do that.
Oh, that's fine. No, if you show me like on a map where I'd be going,
Okay.
maybe if it's like not too much distance, I can
Yeah.
run with you and then run back. But I don't know how far that is.
Oh, I'm like far out on the island, man.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you probably not.
All right. Well, it's nice.
We'll
to
talk
hear.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess like, is that something that has been part of your? Well, so there's 2 streams.
Yes.
One
Sorry,
takes
I
us
got-
away from what we were talking.
I got distracted.
No, one I'm like, because I think that there's a connection between physical and mental well-being.
Right.
And like for me, walking and running were the first steps for me towards mindfulness. when I had a moment of anxiety, depression, manic, whatever. I never had any like firm diagnosis of what I was dealing with, but it was just all of those things in college. And they were just like, how often are you getting outside your room? And I was like,
not as much as I should be.
Never.
Yeah.
Like, what about meals? I was like, you mean cold cuts and bread in my room?
You mean ramen.
Alone? Yeah. Like, why don't you get outside? And I started taking walks in the woods and eventually jogging and then running. And that has just had a huge impact on my well-being. And I can tell when I haven't been running. And like haven't been meditating, but like I think both of those things. Like I can tell when I haven't been doing the things that I know cultivate my sanity.
Yes, I know that feeling. I think just it's a matter, for me at least, it's a matter of focus, which is really funny. Because when I'm kind of thinking about focus, I'm thinking about, okay, this is the thing you have to do, so go do it. And a lot of times, even if, like going back to the Neil Gaiman thing, even if it's a little step, even if I get a little bit done, that's me focused for, that period of time. And that's something to be proud of, especially with, being ADD, being ADHD. That's the focus that they want somewhere else, but we can focus on that one thing for something, at least. It's something.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to for me. It's
just
something.
doing something.
Just do something. Don't just sit on the couch and watch Netflix, Julia. Go do something.
Right. And like I think there's something to like giving yourself space to watch that.
Yes.
To watch like 2 episodes. When it gets to 5 in a row, maybe
that's the problem.
Right. And I've been there.
Yes. Oh God, we all have.
Stranger Things doesn't help.
Oh man, it's so good though.
It really is. All right, let's see. Was there anything in the chat that we missed?
I don't know. Probably. It's been moving a lot. I'm like watching it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, it's hard to look away. I love the saying that doing your best doesn't mean what everybody else does because we're all on different levels.
Hell yeah, we are.
Nanny, I love that too.
Aw, I'm relatable. Hashtag relatable.
That is the highest hashtag to which to aspire. I use my own creativity as a coping mechanism instead of trying to sleep away my life and praying for death.
Oh man, I went through that sleep thing for a while in college. Yeah. I was like, it's going to be nap time for 2 hours now. Because I had gaps in the middle of my class day. But yeah, focusing on something creative is definitely a way of coping. And I feel like there's definitely... It's almost relaxing for me to think of something and then just let it spew out and get it down on paper. So, yeah definitely.
Yeah, for me, music videos in college was like a big thing where it was the first iPhone had came out that you could record video with, and I'd just get a bunch of clips when I was out during the day and then find a song that made me feel good and just lose track of time in doing that. But yeah, graduating college, my record was 20 hours in bed in a row.
It's a pretty solid one, my dude.
Yeah, that was when I knew that like I needed to do something else. When it wasn't just exhaustion, because I had gotten a full night's sleep before. Let's see, Thea Sinclair. Another weird distress creativity thing I do is make soap.
Oh, Thea, I know you. Hi, Thea.
Oh, awesome.
What's up?
That's so cool. How do you know Thea?
She's one of our followers on Twitter.
Oh, amazing.
She's great.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Thea.
Also, I really love that you make soap. I love Fight Club.
It's such a cool thing.
It's like such a Fight Club move. Neil Gaiman is a gift. BT
Yes.
Kotaku, yes. U.S. healthcare sucks. Thanks for joining me on that one. Question for the chat. I'm thinking about making some vlogs where I try to make fancy, different international dishes. Ooh, what would you want to see? What would you want to see made?
Make some paella. Paella is one of my favorite dishes. I make it all the time.
Is there a secret trick to not singing along to live musicals because I haven't found it yet?
I tap my foot and hum a little bit, and hopefully no one on my train is bothered by that.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Casey Smith, it was super hard to not sing when I saw Hamilton last year. Yikes.
Dude. Oh, God. I saw Hamilton So, okay, this is a great story, actually, because, okay, I went to school for history. My majors were history and religious studies.
Yeah.
So when Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I was a Broadway person, obviously, I saw
Sure.
In the Heights when I was in high school. We used to do all these programs and stuff where we would go see shows. But so I was a big fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then he did the White House mixtape performance, and I was obsessed with it. And I was just like, if he ever actually does anything with this, that would be amazing. Oh my God. I bought tickets the minute they went online.
To the public show.
To the public show. I saw the second night of previews.
Oh my God.
It was insane.
You
and
might
then
have been there with my mom and dad.
it was it was on a Sunday. And I just remember I had to go back up to Boston that night because I had class in the morning. And so all of my friends got to meet Lin-Manuel Miranda. I was in a cab trying to make sure I got to my my bus on time because the play they were like, oh, it's like 2 hours, 45 minutes. It went for 3.5 hours. That because they ended up cutting a lot of stuff. But,
wow.
Oh my God, it was amazing though. Like I shake when I think about it.
That's
I'm
incredible.
just gonna fold my legs because I have bad legs.
So there were things that you saw that aren't on the studio album.
Yeah, so like one of the things is they did a whole song on the Whiskey Rebellion, and it was the greatest thing ever because it's Hamilton.
That's so
It's
cool.
Hamilton yelling at everyone like, "Pay your taxes!"
Yeah.
It was great.
That's so sick.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
They didn't still have congratulations in the show, which
Okay.
is upsetting because that's one of my favorite cut songs. But
Right.
it was good, man.
So they
It was
cut
really good.
that?
They
Or
cut that.
Okay. And you saw that.
No, I didn't get to see it, but it was on the like weird performance he did before it went to the public, like
Right,
the
right,
workshop
right.
version. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Dessa did on the mixtape version. But
Right.
oh God, it was so good.
Oh man. So dope. Rhinoceros Rex. I was super late to getting into Hamilton. It wasn't until everyone had been talking about it for a while that I finally was like, yeah, I should check that out. Yeah.
That's okay, man. You know, as long
Yeah,
as you're
that was
into
me
it, doesn't
too.
matter when you get into it.
Pay your fucking taxes.
Pay your fucking taxes.
Yep. I need to do that still. Extension land. I'm so sad they
I
cut.
got taxes back, my dude. I got money back.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I
Holy
got
shit.
federal and state stuff back. It was
God
insane.
damn, that's amazing.
Also, my job was charging me New York City tax, and I don't live in New York City, so...
That's dumb.
Yeah, so I got a lot of that money back.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
Nice. What do we...
You guys are getting in the UK soon.
Yeah. They're taking it on tour, right?
Yeah. Eventually. I think they... Probably this year, I think they're getting it in London.
Word. So I guess in wrapping up,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know like what are you excited about these days? What?
I'm working on a couple different projects that I'm really stoked about. One
Yeah.
of them I've told you about already, which is I'm working on an audio drama that hopefully doesn't suck. The first episode's almost done, and I'm really, really pumped for it. I think
That's
I have
amazing.
2 scenes left to write, and then it's all set to go.
And are you like? Is it cast? Or
No, it's
okay.
not. Like, this is the preliminary
Got it.
stage, like really, really early on.
Nice.
But it's good. And then
Is this something you're doing with Amanda? Are you doing it solo? or-
she's editing. She's like thinking about editing and stuff. I would love to have her direct it because she's an excellent director and an
Yeah.
excellent stage manager person. Like that was her jam back in high school. So
Sure.
that's very much a topic I would love to have her do. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to write it and, get a feel for it and maybe direct a little bit. Who knows? I don't have any experience with that really, but we can figure it out on the way.
Super cool.
That's the podcasting world, is just figuring stuff out as we go.
Actually,
Yeah.
what had you want to get into doing narrative podcasting?
I originally, Spirits started out with a concept that I wanted to do that was going to be an audio drama. And then
Huh.
my life was way too busy, Amanda's life was way too busy, and I just couldn't get scripts out of me. I had concepts, but not
Yeah, it's a lot of
yeah,
work.
it is. It super is. And so basically, and it was really cool actually. It was going to be sort of modern tellings of mythology, but with the goddess Iris, who is the messenger goddess in Greek mythology, being like a radio host.
I love that.
And it would have been really cute, but it was just impossible to put together.
Yeah.
It was like too many moving parts and too many gods and goddesses and all that and too many themes. But yeah, so I've wanted to do that. I've done a lot of writing in like fiction and stuff like that, just nothing that's ever been a finished product. So at this point, I want it to be something, and I wanted to push for something that is actually a finished product. And seeing how good Spirits went, I just wanted to put something together.
Super cool.
Yeah, so there's that, and then I'm working on a super secret project that I'm not going to announce yet, but it is with a friend of the show, and we're going to do something together. If you guys haven't listened to Potterless yet, you probably should. It's by my friend Mike Schubert, who is a 24-year-old man who's reading Harry Potter for the first time in his life.
That's incredible.
And it's really, really fun.
All right, well,
But,
I won't pry.
No, I'll tell you about it later when the cameras are off.
Amazing. Any
questions?
last-minute questions in the chat?
Go,
Put them there
guys, go.
now. And yeah, this has been Self-Care Sunday. So I guess what's do you have a self-care Sunday ritual? Is there something that you
I
do
usually
on
do a
Sundays?
bath and a face mask and maybe a glass of wine.
1 week we're going to do face masks.
Yes, we will.
It's going to be awesome.
We'll do it outside during the summer where we'll just like
Amazing.
chill
We
out
can
in the
stream
sun.
from my backyard.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I want to do it so bad.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. How are the Learner's House art meetup thingy coming along? So Nanny is asking about, I've been doing this thing every year called the Learner's House.
Okay.
Where everybody sort of comes together to like 10 people with something to learn or something to work on for
Cool.
10 days in an Airbnb.
Sweet.
And I'm thinking about doing like basically a more structured program than just like 10 random friends come together with like, you know, we deal with food and just like have people from the community come. So it's going well. I will email the people who filled out the survey, and I will put the survey back below. It's just learners.house if you want to fill it out. And yeah, stay tuned for more. It's probably going to happen this fall. I got to get clear about the dates, but we're looking into locations, and I think something may have opened up like fairly close by.
Nice.
Like I think there's a house that we can rent like in my neighborhood. That would be really cool. So anyway, we will be in touch about that. Favorite wine?
Oh, Sauvignon Blanc for sure. I'm a big Kim Crawford fan, but honestly, any New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc I will drink in a heartbeat.
That's amazing. What year should people look out for?
It honestly depends
Doesn't
on the
matter.
winery.
Okay. Right.
Someone asked about colleges, I think. Oh, advice on picking colleges. I only applied to 3 schools because I went and visited all the schools that I was thinking about, and I knew exactly what I wanted with a kind of... I ended up picking a school up in Boston, which I wanted an urban thing, and I wanted an opportunity to explore, kind of explore my career before I got into it. And Northeastern had a great program where I did 3 6-month internships and did a 5-year program, and it was great. I got to work at the Library of Congress. I did bookbinding for the New England Historic Genealogical Society, and I got to work on a documentary series for the Foreign Policy Association.
That's incredible.
And it was really great. And that was, I mean, like, their history program isn't the best. There was maybe 50 of us in the whole program, but it was just a matter of getting to work in my field before I got into my field. And that was the cool part for me. So figure out what you want out of the college experience and go get it.
That's awesome.
Is what I say.
For me, I wanted to be working on film without being consumed by the tech of it.
Okay.
So I knew I didn't want to go to like an NYU or a USC. And so I was looking at like a school like UPenn where they had like an arts program, but it was like a liberal arts sort of approach. And then I found Wesleyan, and it was like, I'd been really resistant to check it out because there was a maniac in my physics class who was always disrupting the class and being a weirdo.
Cool.
It's like, that's just who goes to Wesleyan. But what I like found from going to the campus was there was more of a diversity, if not like in, you know, I think there's always room for diversity in any of these schools, but just at least in thought and seeing different kinds of people. And I think it was just seeing how much everybody was interested in each other and interesting and loved each other was like a big thing because I knew I wanted.
Yeah, you guys have a great community there. Every
A
time
really
I meet
yeah.
someone who's gone there, you guys all know each other, and it's great.
It's insane. And so yeah, so it was really more of a, for me, at least until my major started in junior year, it was more of a social environment to dig in, and a creative environment to dig in and experiment in that way. Academically, it wasn't as hard for me as my high school was until junior year, when my major really started to kick into gear.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So that would be all right. We could talk more about that another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for asking.
Any other questions? Someone likes Moscato?
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
Thea likes Moscato. Nice.
Hell yeah. I was about to ask for the form link. Type here 452. Thanks for asking.
See a
Love
bookbinder.
bookbinding. That's
Dude,
so
yeah, it's a
cool.
really cool skill. I don't have the attention span to do it well, but I did make a couple of books and it was really awesome.
Love Kirby forever. You are eventually going to see my entire playthrough streams.
Yes.
That is a fact. All right, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun. So thanks for tuning in. Spirits Podcast, spiritspodcast.com. Check
It's
it
just
out.
at Spirits Podcast for everything, so you can find
Nice.
us.
That's easy.
Our SEO is pretty legit.
That's amazing. Is that you're doing, or is that?
Yeah, it's a mix of both of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This will be live for the next week. Zach.live. Let me know if that's like working out. Last question. Rhinoceros Rex. Suggestions on cool places to go in NYC.
Oh man.
I'm going to be there next week looking for non-touristy things to do.
There is a great bar that is kind of in the Flatiron district called the Flatiron Room. And if you can get a reservation in there, it is basically a whiskey bar, and they do live music every night. It's very speakeasy, like it's a closed front room, and then you go in through these doors, and it's like going back to the 20s. It's fantastic.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I took my boyfriend there for his birthday last year, and it's amazing.
Oh my God.
And I'll probably go again for my birthday this year.
Amazing.
So,
That
yeah.
sounds incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's so cool.
Yes, I have listened to Wolf 359. just to clarify. I have. I'm caught up.
I really like, I don't know if it's open yet because it may be a little too early in the season, but you should call and check. Pier Eye Cafe on the west side, over on the river around 69th, 71st. That's my favorite place to spend money when it's nice out. You can see the sunset.
Nice.
And it's like all outdoors, so that's really nice. And then Fat Cat, downtown for pool. It's on Christopher Street. Fat Cat, they have live jazz, like a $3 cover.
Nice.
Those are the only two places that I hang out, and I go there very rarely because I'm, not cool.
I
But
have my one secret bar that I won't tell anyone, which is a lie because everyone who follows our Twitter account knows exactly what that bar is.
that's so funny.
Which you've been
Follow
to
her on
before.
Twitter. Yeah, that's right. Awesome, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We'll be back next Sunday. I don't know the time yet, so stay tuned. I'll announce it on Twitter, and eventually put it up on Zach.live sort of underneath this one until the day. So, yeah. Thea Sinclair says, if you haven't yet, Wooden Overcoats is great.
I've listened to the first 2 or 3 episodes. I have so many podcasts.
Yeah, love that show. Those guys are great. You guys are great. Thanks for coming. I'll see you, if you listen to Focused.af, I'll see you on that tomorrow. And yeah. Bye. Thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
coming, Julia.
Yeah. Thanks
So
for
great to
having
have
me.
Say bye, Tiffy.
No, she's sleeping. She's good.
She's like, fuck you, Zach. Okay.